Hey everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Small Town Music. As you can see, Laura's back.
I'm back.
I have a co-host again. Yay.
So exciting. Thank you, Katie, for keeping the ship afloat.
Yes.
It's been 2025 has been a year, man.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot.
It's still a year.
It is still a year, but glad to be back.
All right. So today we are specifically talking about defining success, and especially just as the year winds down. Maybe it's already done for you. Maybe it's very close to being done. I hope so. For us, when this airs, it'll be done, I think.
For us, we will be like real close to
pretty much done.
Done for the year. You poor souls that are still going through June. May the force be with you, my friends.
Yes. To our international listeners, I know you're out there. I don't know when you end, and I wish you the best for all of your journeys. Anyway, but I know for me personally, like when the school year is coming to a close, I really spend a lot of time reflecting and just thinking, like, what have we done all year? What has gone well? What has not gone well? What are some things I want to continue doing? What are some things I want to change? And things like that. And as I grow in my teaching, I often think about how I define success. And my first year of teaching, I would have said, I have 50 kids in band and we get gold at ISMA contest. In my now 8th year of teaching, that is not my definition of success anymore. And I think that comes with maturing and also just realizing and being practical about what your program is and what your community is, what your school culture is, and all the things that go along with that.
Yeah. And I think it's important to draw a line. What you think is success doesn't necessarily have to be your end goal.
Right.
You know, I have great goals and dreams for my program that maybe we haven't reached yet. But that doesn't mean that I can't look back and find the successes that we had and look back over my 18 years of teaching and find the places where we've been successful, and what do I call that?
Yeah. So my personal definition of success in my program, students are able to be literate and competent musicians when they leave my class, and that may be year 1, and that may be year 10. But whenever they leave my classroom, they are literate, competent musicians. Students can understand and know how to read and write music, and they're able to know composers. They don't have to know all composers in the universe, but at least like who is Beethoven, who is Mozart, why are they different, why are they both important, and they have a deeper appreciation and love of music after they leave my classroom. This kind of goes through general music as well. Laura and I were just talking that we have a very similar definition of what our success is. And for, general music, whether they be, especially the kids that do not choose to do band, choir, orchestra, etc., those students, we want to make sure they are intelligent consumers of music along with, being good people.
Yeah, because, we are training up the next generation of audiences. Who is going to support arts organizations? Who's going to donate the money to talk to their senators about making sure that those programs stay funded? Who's going to go to the concerts and be supporters of that? Who's going to encourage their own kids to then someday join those music programs? And we're building those kids up. So even if they're not the kid that is ever going to choose to be in an ensemble, to be on those elective classes, it's still really important to me that they be able to listen to music, to understand it, to be able to talk intelligently about it. Why do you like country? Why do you not like jazz? Why do you like this rock music but not that one? And to really be able to listen to music and understand it, and to be that intelligent consumer, like she said. For my performance ensembles, I feel most successful on a long-term scale whenever I see them continuing to make music beyond high school, whenever they go on to join the community band, the community choir, to perform in theater, community theaters, or whatever, sing at church, or whatever that might look like to them, posting videos of them playing the piano or singing, just on social media or something. That always warms my heart as a teacher to know that they're still doing that. On a short term though, I think, and we'll talk about this later, it's like, do they enjoy making music? Is making music, and I'm not going to use the F word, because we'll talk about that later.
This is still a family-friendly podcast.
Absolutely, it is. But did they enjoy making music in my class? Did making music together bring them closer as a group of people? Did they have those meaningful musical moments? And that's really where I find success.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I think, again, like I just said earlier, growing in my teaching, just the way that I view my classroom is just so much different than my first, second, third year of teaching. Like I've seen a lot of things, man. We've gone through COVID. I had kids, and I've been through maternity leave. I've gotten married. I've had to move my classroom at one point. Like there's so many things that our school has changed and evolved. I've seen a lot of different superintendents, elementary principals. We've had admin taken away, admin brought back. Just all kinds of crazy things that just like really affect the school in general and how it all is. So I reached out to our parents and also our admins to ask kind of what their definition of success is for their students in the program. So one parent said that when their students start to think in growth mindset, they consider that a success. And I agree with that. I would say, yeah, when the kids are learning and growing and asking questions and more curious, that is absolutely a success.
And whenever they want to do more, they're choosing to do more.
Right.
That parent was talking about, like, hey, can their kid bring home a different instrument over the summer
and learn something new,
so that he can just keep learning music on his own and continue to improve. I think that's really exciting.
Yeah. One parent had said the kids playing songs and smiling afterwards, and I think that's just such a simple way to put into such a complicated thing that I get to see every day. Like when I see my students perform something and they know they did well and they are excited about it, then that is absolutely like I am a proud band director to my band kids when I see them like make that connection that like, yeah, we worked really hard and we took it to the performance and we did our best.
And I love it whenever I see my kids pull those songs back out, whenever seriously, we did this song. Okay. It was basically COVID years. And, at the time, my middle school and my high school choirs were combined during that time because it was just a really weird time, as we know. And we did an arrangement, Mary Getsy's arrangement of Scarborough Fair. Like, my current juniors, like sophomores and juniors, they still are like, can we sing Scarborough Fair? They were in 6th and 7th grade then. And they're like, can we? And they just will randomly start singing Scarborough Fair out of nowhere. And so that always kind of makes my heart smile because I know like they really hated that piece when we were learning it, like you said earlier, because it was hard and they really had to work on it. But now like it was so just musically satisfying that they just keep wanting to bring it back.
Yeah, that's another thing that I find so fascinating with students is that we'll play some of the hardest, rep and it's like pulling teeth at the beginning to get them to sit down and like, okay, we got to learn our notes, but then like slowly it comes together and all of a sudden it's like their most favorite piece and they request to play it again and again because like it took so much work and effort and determination and grit, all these character traits. It took all of this to put it together, and then they got to see the end product and they were like, oh yeah, that was a really good piece of music. Like, okay, yeah, I get it now.
I think it'd be interesting. We should talk about this on another episode, and maybe you guys, comment or let us know. When do you pull the plug on a piece?
Yeah,
that's something to think about too. It's a hard call, and I see people make that post in some of the Facebook groups and things that I'm in with other music teachers. Is like when is enough? When are you like, you know what? this piece isn't working for us,
Right,
and I'm going to pull the plug on it, and we're going to do something else. So that's a tangent, but just something to think about.
Yeah, so another parental definition of success. We do an event called Coffee House, and it's essentially solo and ensemble, but I let the kids, they have a lot more freedom, especially in choosing who they perform with, kind of what types of music. So I had kids this last year, they did Nirvana. Like they formed a little rock band and played some Nirvana, and it was like, and for this particular student who was in that group, this was like his shining moment. And after he got done, it was like he was so proud of himself. Like he was almost in tears before because he was so nervous. But then he performed and he did really well, and the crowd loved it. Like everybody was like, "Yeah, this was super fun. This is exciting." And he was like on cloud 9 because he did something that he worked really hard at. Again, like we just talked about, like he put in the work, he put in the time, and he reaped those benefits. And he saw that immediately, that like extrinsic, motivation turned intrinsic now because he knew what the end product could be.
Well, and I think that, again, kind of coming back to the idea of when are you successful as a music teacher?
Right.
I'm kind of going through this with my daughter right now. She's 10. She's been taking piano lessons. She's kind of reached that point where she's like, I don't want to practice anymore. Mom, when can I stop? And I'm like, never.
Play piano.
But it's because in my mind for her, and I think probably also kind of bringing it with the coffee house, is when can they become independent musicians?
Right.
When can they reach the point where they can say, I want to play Nirvana for Coffee House, and so I'm going to do that.
And then I don't have to 1, 2, ready, go. Here's look at this rhythm. Let's look at the sheet music. Okay, and how do we let's play this part. And they really did. They put it together by themselves. I had a moment before Coffee House where I really hadn't heard it, and I was like, well, okay, this could be all right.
Right.
And they practiced in class, and I was like, oh, it's real. You're doing it.
And so similarly, she was really frustrated because she's learning all the pieces in her lessons that are very good for her, learning her technical skill and all those things that you're learning when you're 10 years old, learning an instrument. But she's really into anime. Bless my husband and his interest in anime. And so she found an easy version on YouTube that then I printed out the sheet music for of the Spirited Away thing. And now she's super motivated to learn the Spirited Away thing. But we all know, though, it's those meat and potatoes things that she's been getting in her lessons that's allowing her to do that. And so as a music teacher, I believe that her piano teacher is successful with her because now she is starting to get those tools to really branch out and become a musician in her own right.
Yeah. One quote that really stuck with me, we did a Nashville trip a month or so ago-ish, month ago. And for the band clinic that we did, the person that we worked with, he had said, you cannot be good at anything without being really bad at it first. Mm-hmm. And that really stuck with me because I know that, right? I have 2 toddlers that I am watching, they're building their world, and that I give them crayons and they scribble one time and they're like, I did it. I'm like, yeah, you did. And it's by no means would anyone consider this a prodigy work of art, but to them it's the most amazing thing, and to me, because I'm their mom. But it's the first time they've ever done it, and watching them walk is terrifying and such a struggle to take that first step because they don't have the muscles and the coordination and all these things. But then watching them now, they can practically run, but it's you don't remember a lot of that because you were so little, but also you practice walking so much that you just all of a sudden do it, versus band where we're older now, so we are very aware of the struggle every day. But yeah, I really like that quote to tell kids to say yeah, you are gonna struggle with this, because to be good at anything you have to struggle through it first.
Yeah. And kind of bringing in what I know you have another parent comment about someone else, a quote I heard at one point was that nothing's fun until you're good at it.
Yeah.
And I know that's not entirely true, but it is kind of that same idea that, yeah, you got to struggle at first, but once you get it, then you can really move forward.
Yeah, so then another parent, her definition of success, she doesn't really care about skill level, but she wants her child to enjoy making music and have a healthy desire to make music, and then as long as he is having fun, then the rest will come and he will learn more later on, which I thought was very interesting. And she is not a musician.
No.
She's, yeah.
No, I mean, she, I know just from our conversations, she sang in choir when she was in school. Her husband played trombone in the band. So, they have some musical background, but, they're in no way, shape, or form, musicians now in their adult life. But they both have that background. And so, their son plays piano, I know, and does that well.
He's learning guitar and...
And so, I kind of, jokingly called it the F word, but I think we equate it has to be fun. So we have to do all the pop hits and make sure that the kids are never unhappy.
Right.
Make sure they only do music that they love immediately. And that's not the case.
Anytime I've tried to do that, it just fails miserably because you can't eat candy all day long. And this sounds like a great idea until you do it, and then you're like, oh, weird, I feel super sick.
Right. Or you find out that, wow, we haven't really developed any great musical skills that will then further on allow them to become independent musicians.
Right. It's all a trade-off. You have to have the skills to then be able to do the fun things. Mm-hmm. But the fun things are more fun when you have the skills. Yeah. But
I think she hit it when she said she wants him to be able to have a healthy enjoyment of making music, and that's what we all want. Because I don't want to shove it down my kids' throats because that's not fun. That's not fun for me. As a teacher. Right? Why can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Another one was this particular parent defined success in band when she sees students flourish and find their school family, regardless of ability or numbers. When she sees students shine at concerts and attend band-related extracurriculars.
And I thought it was interesting to point out that particular parent is also a special education teacher.
Yeah.
So, she really takes it to heart that kids are involved, the kids are taking steps forward just to live their best life.
Yeah, absolutely. Our superintendent responded, and he said, success in our band program to me means students are not only learning to read and play music with skill and joy, but also experiencing the deep satisfaction of making music together. Through consistent engagement in reading notation and keeping rhythm, our students build critical brain connections that support literacy and math development, demonstrating how band instruction reinforces classroom learning and contributes to academic success across the board.
Bravo, sir. What a...
I know. And that was a fast response. That was not days later. It was 5 minutes later. It's oh.
Yeah, he does. And every time we talk, he feels very strongly in what we do. We're very fortunate to have a superintendent who believes in what we do and the power that music has to shape students' lives, to improve their day at school, to improve all of those cognitive things. I think it's important for us to realize... that a lot of times our admin sees things differently than we do. It is important to them that we have good math scores and that we have good English scores.
For so many reasons.
That's that is important to them. So I think that's important for us to understand that, yes, he said it first, that he wants kids to enjoy making music, to be fulfilled by that their lives be enriched by it. And also, let's not forget that a lot of parents, too, our parents and admin, they maybe not be so interested in the emotional side of music.
What?
And so I think it's worth noting whenever you're advocating the things that your program does for their students, that this is something that is research-based and proven, that students who consistently make music, their brains work better.
Yeah, absolutely. Which that's a whole other fascinating topic of conversation that we could get into. Another tangent. One of our Instagram followers, he commented and said, because we had a video asking, what is your definition of success? And he had talked about very similar things that Laura and I have been talking about, but he mentioned the students' definition is mainly focused on tangible awards, like they get a gold at contest, or they get the gold ribbons, or first place at solo ensemble. We get a trophy, we get something, like we can hold this object that literally says, like, we played really, really well at this particular performance. And I think for a lot of students, like, that is a very meaningful thing. I mean, I think back to my own school band program, and I stayed in band because I knew I wanted to be a music teacher when I grew up. But also, it was really, really fun when my marching band got third place at State Fair. Like, that was an amazing time. And all of a sudden, the band was super cool. And people were, like, congratulating us that didn't ever congratulate us. And, like, playing music was cool.
Well, I think it's a common language. Mm-hmm. We live in a world of, athletics and competitions and sports and tournaments, and I mean, NBA playoffs are happening right now, and all that, where it's all about winning, right? And so everyone understands that. Not everyone may understand, but we did a really great concert, or like we participated in this festival where we all came together and made music in harmony.
We went to Tennessee and just played at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
And isn't that nice and sweet of you? But yeah, trophies speak, and that's kind of a whole other. Again, we have so many podcasts, so many topics we can talk about.
Oh man, there's a new topic every minute of teaching, I think.
Right. But bottom line, when you're thinking about what do your students, what do your parents, what do your administration, what do really all your stakeholders find when they think about, is our music program successful? Trophies matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of times. And so finding those opportunities for your students to be celebrated. Let's just call it that. Right. Yeah. Finding opportunities for your students to be celebrated.
What a great way to phrase that.
in a tangible, visible way.
Yeah. And I think, like, all of these topics we've talked about, they're all important in helping define success. Like, there was not just one, like, when we get first place, we're successful. When kids are musically literate, we are successful. When kids go to college and play music, we are successful. It's all of the things all together. Yes, the trophies are nice. They are not what I consider, because I know, like, we all know, those Music in the Parks festivals, some of those are just like,
hey, it's
luck of the draw.
Right. We've done many of those in my career, and I enjoy doing them. I'm so thankful that they exist. I think they have a great mission. But yeah, we know that sometimes those trophies are they reflect different things.
One performance on one random particular day.
But the point is that your students, first off, they went.
Yes.
They performed. They were adjudicated. And then they have a tangible visual representation of their success.
Yes.
And so I think it's valuable.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we've covered all of our topics. Is there anything in particular that you're enjoying, like any product or...
Okay. I don't know. What am I enjoying right now?
Your doily book.
Okay, yeah. So I just pulled this out earlier. I do crochet. I have never actually crocheted a doily.
I have never crocheted a doily. We learned a lot about doilies.
We did. This was my husband's grandmother's. I got it out of her house whenever we were going through her things because I just thought it was really sweet. But it's the ultimate doily book. I did learn. Guys, did you know that doily is named after the French creator his last name was d'oily, and it was actually, they were originally made to put on the back of couches to protect the couches from all the hair oil that Victorian men
no
in the words
Victorian dandies not men
that Victorian dandies would wear.
Copyright 1994
Mr. D'Oily who encouraged their use to protect fine upholstery from the greasy hair oils sported by Victorian dandies. So there you go. In the words of a 1994 ultimate doily book.
Man, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Katie was literally born
I was
here.
crying. Well, okay, because she picked it up and was like, let me hold this book. And it happened to be the ultimate doily book. And I thought it was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Why do you have the ultimate doily book? And I was like, well, because someday I'm going to retire.
No.
And my kids will be grown. And I will think, what am I going to do with my time?
I'm going to make some doilies.
I could travel.
Hey, they're going to make a comeback.
Hey, they will. They will. And I'm not going to lie. If you can can you make doilies?
Fantastic. Like, if you've looked at a doily.
I mean, they're very intricate.
Yeah.
And
this is not a crochet podcast.
So,
but it could be.
It could someday.
Someday.
If I ever crochet a doily, I will bring it on.
When we run out of teaching topics.
I will bring it on and show you my first doily creation. But how about you, Katie? What are you enjoying in your life right now?
I am enjoying outside time. Just like trying to spend as much time outside as possible. And I get really sad when I have to come home and make dinner because then I have to be inside to make dinner. But yeah, just like in the evening, I try really hard to not just like plop in front of the TV and just like stare mindlessly at the TV. I'm trying to like, let's bring a book outside, or like, yeah, I'll be on my phone, but outside. So it's healthier maybe. But yeah, just like outside time.
Okay, we have been grilling a ton. The moment it got warm enough to grill, we have like one of the Blackstone like flat tops. I grill everything on that. Veggies means like the whole meal gets made.
There are people that like literally make it their life's mission to like their Blackstone is their everything. Yeah. And they do everything on it.
I love my Blackstone. Like tonight was a rare night. I did not cook on it. So
shame.
So there you go. You can cook and be outside.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have
with the joy of a Blackstone.
We're a big green egg family. Oh, so
you are. Your husband's very talented. With the big green egg. I'm really not. Good. I know nothing about it, but
he's really good at it.
It's tasty treats.
It's really
tasty
good.
Treats.
Okay. If you've stuck around this far, feel free to email us. What's your favorite thing? Do you enjoy outside time? Are you a vampire and you hate the outside? That's fine. But email us, smalltownmusicpodcast@gmail.com. TikTok's smalltownmusicpodcast. YouTube, smalltownmusic21, I think, is technically our at smalltownmusic21. Instagram, small.townmusic. Find us, comment, like, subscribe. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, PodBean.
All the things.
YouTube. I already said YouTube.
We are everywhere.
We're so many places. But yeah, contact us. We've had one person one time email us.
Yeah!
Which I so appreciate. Please, just email us anytime. Maybe we'll send you a t-shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're working on a new logo, so...
Oh, love it.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, watching, all the things.
Good luck with the end of the year.